Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and I have another block for you. This one is called Louisiana, and this is a really simple block. It's made with rectangles and flying geese units. So this is a good beginner block. This one does measure 12 inches finished, and I've used 2 prints plus the background. So I hope you'll stay with me and I'll show you how to make the Louisiana block. Here are the fabrics you need to make the Louisiana block. For A, you will need 4 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. For B, you'll need 8 3.5 inch squares. And for C, you'll need 4 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. Now on your B squares, you'll want to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side, because those are the ones that will be sewing onto the corners of the A rectangles. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll get started making flying geese units. Okay, so what I'm going to do is place my B square on the right corner of the flying geese unit, the A rectangle, and I'm going to have that drawn line run from the top center to the bottom right hand corner. And I'm just going to line up all the raw edges, and I'm going to sew straight on this drawn line. Now I have 2 different blue fabrics here in the B's. I have one that has a print. It's a geometric print here. I think you can see that there. And then I have a grunge. And now it's the same blue, but I'm working with a layer cake, so I'm limited on the number of pieces I can cut from a layer cake, so I couldn't get all of them from one square, one 10-inch square. So I came up with 2 different prints to use, and I'm just going to make sure that I keep them, you know, the same print on one square. I don't want to mix them up. So I'm going to do 2 of them with one print and 2 with the other. And then once it's in the quilt, you know, you're going to have to look really close to see the difference, but it doesn't really matter if your prints are the same or not. I'm just going to chain piece these all together. So I'm going to do these last 2. They're going to be with the grunge. Now this grunge, the color goes all the way through. So here is the right side, and you can see it's got that mottled look, and then on the back it looks solid. So I drew a pencil. I drew the line with a pencil, and it's dark enough that I can see it, but if you find that you know your pencil doesn't work, you can use a white chalk pencil, or you can actually just press this. And I would press the wrong sides together and press it with your iron, and that will leave the crease on the diagonal, and you can sew right in that crease. So that's another way you can do that. This one I have enough light that I can see the line, so I don't have to press this one. And I want to see, now the grunge, sometimes it has a kind of a direction to it. Looks like there's like a grain you can see on it, but not always so. Okay, now I'm going to cut these apart, and then I'm going to trim them, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And these are large enough pieces that I can get half square triangles out of them, so I'm going to save these. And what you can do is go ahead and sew like sew a 1/2 inch away from your sewn seam that you've already sewn. Sew a 1/2 inch away from that, and then cut between them, and then you've already got your half square triangle sewn. But I'm just going to go ahead and press these for right now, or trim them for right now, and then I will sew them together later, and then I'll have a stack of half square triangles. And then I'll make some kind of a project out of them. But I am saving all of these pieces that I'm cutting off. Okay, so I'm going to press these. I'm going to press this back so that way we'll have that, and then I will sew the B squares onto the opposite side. Okay, so here are all the flying geese units. So I have 2 that have the grunge in the background, and then 2 that have the geometric print in the background. So now we're ready to sew these to the C rectangles, and that will make 4 quadrants. So we're going to sew the C's to the tops. So they're going to go like this. I'm going to sew them like this. So I'm just going to lay the C on top. And then sew. Okay, let's clip these apart and press, and we'll look at them, and then we can sew them into the block. Okay, so there, let me back up a little bit. Okay, there's the finished unit. So we're going to sew these together to form the block. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to lay these out. Okay, so I have all 4 units, and I have 2 that have the grunge background, 2 that have the geometric background. The geese part of it is all the same print, but basically we're going to just turn them. So they're going to go like this. Okay, so we're making a pinwheel, and so I'm just going to sew them into rows. So we'll have 2 rows of 2. So I'll sew this seam here, press, and then I will sew them this direction. So one thing about this pattern is you don't have to worry so much about points at this point. Okay, I have these 2 seams need to nest together, so I'm going to nest them, and I'm going to pin right there. I didn't. So what I'm doing is, when you put these two together, these two diagonal seams here on the flying geese here and here, those two will nest together. So I want to get them nested in, and I want to pin them so that they don't shift. And I'm going to go ahead and pin this bottom one too, just to keep things lined up, and then we'll sew. Let's see what these look like here. Okay, so here's the top row. Okay, so here's the top row, and then here is the bottom row. Like that. So I want to make sure I've got them turned the right way, and I'm going to press towards the flying geese on these and away from this one, because of the seam going in here. It's wanting to go this way anyway, so that's how I'm going to press it. Okay, so now we have all of these points in the center that need to line up. So I'm going to use a pin, and I'm going to go through the back into the point right there. You can see that coming right through that point, the pin right here. So it's coming through that point, and then I want to put it through the point of the other unit. So I'm going to just slip it right through there, and then I have to line all of this up to each other. So we got this, these seams are pressed in opposite directions, so they will nest together, but I want to make sure those points are as close together as I can get them. So this diagonal seam is nesting with this one, and it should be doing the same on the other side, because these two diagonal seams will nest too. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pin these, and see, I'm pinning them way down. That's going to keep them from riding up or down. And I'll show you what that pinning looks like here. If I can get it to work for me. Here we go. Okay, so I have them kind of pointing out. So I got a V formation going here. And this pin here that's in the center, I'm going to take this one out, and I'm just going to put it in this way. I'm going to put it in straight. And then I'm going to pin the end and the beginning of this seam, and there may be some give in there, and hopefully I can get that all worked in. Okay, so a little bit of pinning on this one. Make sure all my seams are lying flat, and I'm going to get as close as I can to my pin, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. And get all of this lined up. Okay, remove all the pins, and I'll press, and we'll take a look at the block. Okay, so here's the completed block. So I think that turned out pretty well. I think the only trick is, you know, matching everything up right here, because this seam will nest in with this one. Okay, it went this way. This seam nests with that one, this one nests with that one, and you want to get your point all matching up, which, let me get in a little closer so you can see that better. So I think that worked really well. I'm pretty happy with it. So after you get these, let me go back out. Okay, after you get each one of these units sewn, you might want to trim them up so that they're all the same size. So that will help you some too. And either way, I mean, this is a really easy block to make. And I think it's good practice for matching points. You don't have a whole lot you have to worry about. So I think this is a good one to try if you're a beginner. Okay, that is the tutorial on the Louisiana block. So here is the one we just completed. And this is using the Nutmeg fabric line by Basic Gray. And here is my sample block. So this is made with some Lori Holt fabrics. This is the cookbook line. So, and then this is a Bella Solid in the background. So there's the two. I can hold this so you can kind of compare them side by side. So I think they turned out well, both of them. So anyway, this I think will look good with any fabric line you choose. So I hope you'll give this block a try. Now, if you like this video, please click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.